Okay, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. Good Monday morning, afternoon to you, Rachely, and Isabel, and anybody else. Barbara, I think, is a much different times than us. But anyway, thankful that you all are all with us. And I'm just gonna start with prayer, and then we're gonna hear from Rachely. Abba, we thank you so much for your goodness. Your mercies are never ending. You are just so faithful, and we are so thankful that you watch over Israel. And as this group are watchmen on the wall, we just pray for Rachely right now as she shares what's on her heart. Bless her and bless this time as we lift up your beloved Israel. And we ask all of this in your name. Amen. Rachely, we want to hear whatever you have to say today, but give us, I know we were talking before you got on about Iran being here, and if you can give us a little update maybe on his trip too, that would be wonderful. And so give us an update.
So good morning to you. Good afternoon to those from closer to Israel and in Israel. So beginning, yes, with Iran, he's in the States, in New York. I think he's returning tomorrow for a meeting with Jewish communities there. I am sure that he will have a nice update for you next week. But it has been, from what we have been following up from here, it has been very emotional and very intensive and interesting. We could see him yesterday in the Israel party in New York, in the streets of New York. It was really, really fun to see. Actually, I saw from many other angles, not just Iran, but other friends of mine who are there. So it looks very, very interesting. But I think that he'll be glad to give you a full update next week. Concerning today and still in connection with Iran, I just want to bring up front and before everything, Itamar, his son, his youngest son, is supposed to go to enter Gaza for the actual war, the current operation that is going on. Apparently very massive operation by the IDF, including elimination of some senior Hamas members or operatives, as they say. So yes, the army is returning at full strength to Gaza Strip. Also today it was announced that
Hold on just a minute. There's some feedback or something. If everybody would just mute until we start our prayer time. I'm not sure what's going on, but just yeah, thank you so much.
okay. So continuing, also today it was announced that Israel destroyed a tunnel where terrorists responsible for the incident in which two IDF soldiers were killed. So the terrorists actually ran away to that tunnel and the IDF destroyed it. And other media reports, I'm going really fast with these media reports because they are all the time changing, all the time they keep coming in. We cannot keep up with the pace of the headlines here sometimes. So that's why I'm going through it very fast. According to other media reports, Israel and Hamas have returned to negotiations. And for the first time, it was announced that they are on direct negotiations. This is something that was never admitted before, even though it might have been the case in the past. Now, the negotiations are, of course, for the release of all the hostages, 58 in number, or a ceasefire. Israel wants a ceasefire, Hamas wants a cease war or the end of the war. So that's the negotiation now. And another very dramatic piece of headlines here is that after over 60 years, the Mossad brought back photos and documents, over 2,000 photos and documents and personal items that belonged to Israeli spy Eli Cohen, who was executed in Syria over 60 years ago. So this was very dramatic. It just marked last week or so exactly 60 years since his execution. So the items included the keys to his apartment in Damascus, his original will, and the document with the sentencing, his death sentence. And it was a very big news, very big and dramatic news. Also because last week, the remains of another soldier who was disappeared for over 40 years. So his remains were brought back to Israel. So now, over 60 years, this is big time, big news. And yes, if you would like to know a little bit more about Eli Cohen, I don't usually recommend Netflix, but there is a good series about him with Sacha Baron Cohen on Netflix. So you can watch that and get some insight into this story. Now, I want to go to the spiritual biblical perspective in light of current events, but not the war events, just not yet. Before I go deep into that, I would like to talk about music. On Shabbat, 2 days ago, Saturday night, there was the final of the European singing contest or competition, which is called Eurovision, and Israel participates in it almost since its beginning, over 50 years ago. Yuval Raphael, the singer who represented Israel this year, she survived the death trap in the October 7, 2023. She was at the Nova Festival and played dead to survive, actually. There are recordings of her conversation, her phone conversation with her dad, and he told her, play dead, be dead, or make yourself dead, otherwise they will find you. So she was lying down under the bodies of her friends, and that's how she survived. And well, after that, she arrived at this prestigious event, prestigious song contest in Basel, Switzerland. She even kind of took the picture at the same porch where Theodor Herzl took or is portrayed, declaring that if you wish, there is no such a thing as a legend. So that place, she took a picture there just to kind of reenact the moment. So Yuval Raphael is her name, and the judges didn't want to give her a chance. They took her, their voting took her to the 15th place. Some countries even called for boycotting Israel again and again. They do that every year, and this year was even more terrible. Some countries, during the time when she was singing, they actually didn't show the Israeli performance. They had messages against Israel, black screen, and I don't want even to repeat, for example, the things that Spain wrote there. So according to the judges, Israel was not supposed to be have more than the 15th place. But then the public voting from all over the world, this time not only from Europe, but from Australia, States, from all over the world, actually, even Brazil. So people could vote. And actually, the voting brought Yuval Rafael to first place. First place. Some countries got a zero, like Iceland. And at the end, it was like a fight, not a fighting, it was a decision between Israel and Austria. At the end, Israel got the second place and Austria the first place. But the public really gave Yuval Rafael a very nice boost of energy. And it's, getting the second place it's a big deal. Even in times like this, when Israel is facing bias and all this antagonism, you know what it reminded me? Balaam. It has nothing to do with a weekly portion, but it has to do with the Bible. And it reminded me, Balaam, he was sent to curse, to bring, terrible things, or to declare terrible things against Israel. And at the end, he could not help but, instead of cursing, the words that he spoke were of blessing. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob. Numbers 24, verse 5. So this year, despite the calls for boycott, all the boos, all the antagonism, even the persecution and other things, Yuval Rafael brought a clear, powerful, emotional voice, and she received this overwhelmingly support from audiences worldwide. So at the end, the judges and other people wanted to curse Israel, but their country is blessed. It blessed Israel very much, I believe. And it was really, we all had a sense of pride, and it was very emotional for many people here, even those who usually don't follow up on the Eurovision Song Contest, because we know upfront that it's biased, it's against Israel. And this year we could see, even though it is, it was different. So Sharon, I don't know how long we have. If I may,
You're good. You're fine.
I'm good. Okay. So if I'm good, you give me a microphone, I like to speak.
We always want to hear from you all in Israel, and especially from the NLC and what's going on.
Yes, the NLC. I have a very nice update from the NLC, and I'll jump directly to that.
That'd be wonderful.
Yesterday, we had a group of what is called Shirut Leumi and Shinshinim. What is Shirut Leumi? Those are young girls, young women who, instead of going to active service in the army, they volunteer in what is called civil service. And Shinshinim are teens who, just before going to the army, they volunteer at least 1 year in social projects. So the group that came to the National Leadership Center yesterday was such a group of young women in civil service and these teens in the voluntary service before the army. And they volunteer with an organization that provides food for needy people. Yes, there are needy people in Israel who need food. So these groups, these young people, they volunteer with that organization. Now, they know already for a whole year, they live together in communities and apartments throughout the cities where they serve. So they know each other. But yesterday, our trainers told me, yesterday it was a very emotional and different kind of connection. It was like the dynamics of the activities in the National Leadership Center brought them to a higher level of acquaintance, a higher level of intimacy, where they really could know each other better. And they have been living together in the same apartments and communities for a whole year. But yesterday it was like that was it. It was a new level and very emotional for them. This is what their coordinators told our trainers. So we're really glad, and it's a blessing to be able to be at this place and the National Leadership Center to bring these people together through these activities. You know, if you don't know, if you are listening or watching and you don't know what is the National Leadership Center, so we can send later the link via JH Israel site. But it's an extreme experiential learning place where the people learn about the heroes of the Bible. They learn in the heights with ropes courses. They have to climb together a pole of 8 meters, or another course, it's a ropes bridge that they have to cross it together. Otherwise, if they don't do it together, one of them falls. So it's amazing for us. It's a blessing for us to be able to be at this place because it also brings not not just adventure. It's not just getting to know each other, but it's empowering, and it's healing. It brings healing to the soul and to the spirit. And Azeran always says that Heather had the vision over 15 years ago to build this Noah's Ark of healing, or this paradise. And well, with all the nice trees that we have in Ariel, in the National Leadership Center, this is how it feels. Even with the heat, we are beginning the summer here. There are some days that are very, very hot, but with all this shade and the trees that we have, it really feels like a paradise. So
Yes, that's
thank you.
true.
Keep praying, and we thank you for praying and for standing with
Absolutely.
Israel and with us.
Raheli, before we start praying, just give us 2 or 3 of your top prayer requests for right now. Maybe for, this week. Like it could be for Israel, it could be for the National Leadership Center, or both, whatever, just so we can target our prayers.
For Israel, um, the hostages and the families of the hostages,
Right.
for a miracle to happen, for the
Yeah.
hostages to be freed, and for the National Leadership Center and all this stuff, for us to continue to be in this place and understand the place where I believe, we all believe, that God has put us to be where we are.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. Fred, I'm gonna ask you to lead off prayer for Raheli, and and then we will go into our rapid prayer time. Raheli, we know if you have to get off, we understand, but we appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I'm here.
Okay.